The theme of this Congress, Forest and People, Investing in a Sustainable Future, points to a pressing global need. Forests, which cover 1/3 of the world's land area, have a crucial role to play in the achieving of the Sustainable Development Goals. Millions of people depend on forests and on the plants and animals that live in them to meet their needs for food, energy, and shelter. Yet, if we want forests to continue to make these and other contributions to our planet, we must first of all ensure that forests have a future.
We need to change the way we build to build much more productive buildings, much more energy efficient buildings, and much more climate sensitive buildings. But of course, urbanization and population growth, which are so staggering, put us in this collision course, which demands that we innovate, and it demands that we innovate in an urban environment. Over 200 submissions for a competition that was divided into two segments. One was to develop a tall wood housing solution for Durban, and one was to develop sort of globally affordable wood housing.
I think, so many of the ideas that we have about the future of very innovative wood buildings are really building on these traditions of the past. And what happened in a way is when steel and concrete became these prominent materials, we forgot about these wonderful traditions of building with wood and the wonderful way it makes you feel to be around a wood building. And it's because I think wood brings a patina and a texture and a warmth and a touch that's so unique and special that no other material really can afford.
People think it's a dirty fuel. I think this conference shows that the tide has turned a little bit. The reason, I think, is that studies have shown that Africa will depend on wood fuels, on firewood and especially charcoal, for a very long time. Energy transitions take a long time. For people to start using different energy, it takes cultural shift. Yeah? The people need to get used to different forms of cooking. It's something very essential and very close to their hearts. And I think the research community, the political community, as we can see on this conference, they are realizing that now.
You can't separate people from the forest. People live in the forest, people work in the forest, people get food from the forest, people get shelter from the forest, and people's culture is very important to the forest. Forestry is very important because there are a lot of social aspects and cultural aspects involved with the forest, which to the International Wood Culture Society and even World Wood Day emphasizes.
I would recommend that if you're interested in this, come to our booth in the exhibition center. A lot of people don't come over. You can listen to good music, you can see wood carvers, and you can talk about traditional values in the forest, because it's quite easy to do with any of the staff.
Because I am from Lebanon, all instrument traditional music, when I do it all by my hand, I prefer to my cedar, the center of my flag, traditional flag, the cedar of Lebanon. And the cedar also from the wood cedar, the music is the language of God between the people. You want to speak with us by the music, because the music is a peace and love.
I think we need to really understand that people's sense of being in a place, their sense of responsibility for the land, for the forest, comes from a deep cultural and spiritual attachment to the land. And even those people who now have moved and are living in cities they still feel that sense when they go to forests, when they are in a room which is made of wood, or when they're hearing the bird calls even in the city park. So we have to really think about how we retain this diversity of cultures, because the diversity of cultures and the diversity of ecological systems grew together. They're part of humans are part of nature. Let's not forget that. So the cultures evolved with the landscape, and the landscape evolved with the human cultures. And we need to keep both of those things very much together as we think about solutions which would really be sustainable.
We have an extremely rich program and very lively debates over the week. And we have a record level of participation here. Participants come from 142 countries. Nearly all African countries are present. There have been 2 target groups that have been receiving special attention throughout the week, and these are youth and women. We heard a very strong commitment from youth, and their participation have been very broad and vocal throughout the week.
I participate on the photo contest, on the photographic contest of the FAO. The subject was Forests and People, and I present a picture that the name is You're a Leaf. And it is a picture of a woman. Well, it is really a self-portrait. As a communicator, as a photographer, I have an important role to do, that is to teach people how important is nature, and how can we do to realize that we are not better than plants, we are not better than animals. We just have to put ourselves on the same level.
I subscribe to taking meaningful engagement processes, meaning that I am part of a generation that we've come to term as millennials, a generation that has a lot of resources to its disposal. We are the generation that is most formidable to actually realize these dreams, this sustainable future that we are talking about. And I believe that if we take those little lessons, we go back to our communities and take these very actions that we constantly talk about, we actually have a way of achieving sustainable future.
We have in this globalized world now, with the communications, etc., we're all tied together. We're all part of the same root system, which underneath the soil actually connects to the roots of other trees. So let's connect to each other's roots, and I think we can have a really good future.